I am Andrea with Happy Cloud Creations, and I am jumping on to let you know it is week 6 of the Prismatic Party Quilt Along. And, oh my goodness, so Instagram is giving me all these prompts. Okay, now I can see the screen. Okay, so we're live on Facebook, in my Facebook Quilt Along group, and on the Instagram as well. Hello, April. So this week is going to be super easy. We are making our block 5, which is very similar to last week's block. So the construction is going to be basically the same, except for it's slightly different. Does anybody have any questions? Hello, Linda. Hello, Claudia. If anybody has any questions about this block, please let me know. I'm going to try to go slowly because I think on Facebook people missed the whole video because it was just so short last week, because this block does go together very quickly. So the instructions for block 5 are on page 13. April says she got hers done yesterday. Yay! 8 blocks can seem like it's going to be tedious, but once you have those flying geese done and those half square triangles done, they really do go together very quickly. Hello, Mother. All right, so if you don't have any questions, I'm just going to kind of go through the steps of making this. So, when I do a row like this, sometimes I will just pin 2 pieces together, sew them, and then I'll go and pin the 3rd piece together. When you're sewing your flying geese together, and you see how I didn't lose that point at all, when you look at the back, this one's easier to see because it's dark fabric with white thread. Your stitch line will be right above that point. So that's what I was talking about last week, but my fabric colors were a little light, so it was hard to see that white line, but you know you're in the right place if it's coming in above that point right there. And then you don't lose your points on the front. And then also when I'm doing flying geese together, I like to press my seams upward. That way there's less bulk when you press them that way. Got a little tickle in my throat. And then so that center is done. And once you have the flying geese done, all you have to do is really sew the components together. And then on page 14, I know this can look a little complicated. I was trying to make it so that people that were printing their patterns at home didn't have to print so many pages of instructions. And since both these sections go together the same way, I labeled them A section and B section basically. So you're basically going to have 2 units, but you want to make sure your flying geese or your half square triangles are facing opposite ways. This morning I realized I had ready 2 of they were both these ones, and I was like, uh-oh. So I really quickly just sewed this one together. But you're going to want one for the left side, one for the right side, and make sure when you're laying the pieces out, your half square triangles are laid out correctly and against your squares and your pinning. When it can be complicated like this, I like to pin everything in place just so when I get to my machine, I don't accidentally sew the half square triangle to the wrong side of this. And then once you have these done, since these were all pressed upward, the sides are going to be pressed down. I know that can create a little bit of bulk here, so if you don't like that bulk right there, you can press your seam open. Also, I wanted to show you what I mean by nest your seams. So I pressed this one open so you can see that they're like fitting together like puzzle pieces, butted up right next to each other. And since they were, this one was pressed to the left and this one was pressed to the right, you're able to get them really close together, and they just make the front look really nice. Okay, so once you have your three correct sections done, you're basically gonna sew all together. So I will just like nest these together at these two seams, and then I will go and I'll do that side too, and I'll pin the other side. When the pieces are large enough, I don't find it a problem pinning both sides, and then just go through your machine, chain piece a bunch at once, and then when you get to the very last one, cut off all the ones that have been chain pieced, and then do the other sides. So I think this block goes together fairly quickly. I know 8 is a lot. Here's my block. I wanted to have something different so that like all 12 of the blocks that are going around that outer border were different. So that's why I made this one look a little bit different than last week. So last week was this block. And so if you notice, last week's seams on this side are all pressed upward. And then this week's blocks are pressed downward. So next week when we go to sew them together, these two seams will be able to nest together nicely, and you'll be able to put those outer blocks nicely together. And then next week we have our last block, guys. It's this corner block. There's 4 of them, so it's super easy. I kind of like to plan out my quilt along so that you have some easy weeks so that you can catch up, because if 8 blocks this week is a little tedious for you because you didn't make your half square triangles and you didn't make your flying geese yet, next week we have 4 super easy blocks. Let's see. Where is it? Here's mine. Mine from my original quilt. So it's super easy, just a square with some flying geese. I noticed, I was going to look up to see what her name was. Someone in the group had finished her top already, but instead of doing this block, she just did a big piece of fabric the size of the block and left that out, which gives it a really cool look, because then it's just like, this is a frame. I wasn't sure if people would want something there or not, so I did put a block. But that's an option if you're like, I would just rather have big square there instead of having a star go to nowhere, because I know that bugs some people. So that's an option if you don't like that look and you just want like a big square of your background fabric right there. Does anybody have questions about this week or next week, I guess? Next week's our last block. And then I'll be jumping on here, I think Tuesday at 10 a.m. And then the following week we'll be finishing our quilt top. So I'll jump on that week and just kind of give some suggestions, I guess, as to how I finish my quilts. Got those done too. Gonna start putting my quilt together soon. Yay, April! She got her next week's blocks done too. So yeah, once you get those flying geese together, I think like all the blocks go together fairly quickly. So I know a few people in the group had just started cutting their fabric. So I think it'll be really easy to catch up quickly. Yeah, so I'm excited to see everybody's quilt tops done. There are several over in the Quilt Along group. I know on Instagram there aren't as many people participating, but if you go jump over on the Facebook Quilt Along, you can see everybody's fabrics and everybody's quilt tops being finished up over there too. Ooh, sorry, I moved my laptop, which my phone is on my laptop. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. So I'll jump on next week, 10 a.m. on Tuesday. If you ever have any questions for me, you can email me at happycloudcreations@gmail.com. Or you can private message me on either Instagram or on Facebook. Private message me on Facebook at the Happy Cloud Creations page. If you do my personal page, it sends it to like these, like you don't know these people, so I never get to see those. So make sure it's to the Happy Cloud Creations. So I hope you guys have a great day. I'm gonna hopefully finish these. I think I have to finish 4 blocks. Yeah, I have 4 blocks left to finish. I already finished the other 4 last Friday. So hopefully I can get a little bit of sewing in today and finish those up. I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.